World Wide Web. It's an ever-evolving universe of lightning-fast communication. For students, it's a powerful tool for research and for socializing. But the internet can also be used as a weapon.
You're such a loser.
You're worth.
You should just
Everybody
kill yourself.
hates
You're such
you.
a
You're
slut.
gay.
Words have become bullets, and they're wounding teens all over the country and around the world. In Pennsylvania, a teen is so horribly harassed online, he moves to Colorado to escape the abuse.
That really tore me apart, having to leave my hometown for reasons I wasn't really sure of at the time, for something I didn't feel like I deserved.
In Virginia, a popular 17-year-old girl is forced to go to another school after being bullied during her re-election as class president.
It just killed me because I had never heard of anyone not liking me. So to hear these hurtful things at such, an intensity was just blew my mind.
In Vermont, a 13-year-old boy is pushed so far by cyberbullies that he takes his own life.
You can't know the terror. You can't know. And all I kept saying to Ryan was, why? Why? I didn't understand why.
And several continents away, an Australian teen decides to fight back and take action after being severely harassed online.
You've got to understand the internet is a lawless country. There's no police, no government, and it's controlled by the users, which a lot of the time are kids.
These teens are not alone. An estimated 1 in 3 students is being victimized online. That's why policymakers are committed to making a difference.
This abuse is no different than physical abuse in the real world. This is psychological abuse. We need to know about it so that we can react to it.
At issue, cyberbullying. Today on Student Voices. Hi, I'm Brian Harper. Welcome to Comcast Student Voices. Today we're exploring a very serious issue that's impacting the lives of millions of teens across the country and around the world. In the next half hour, you'll hear the personal stories of 4 teenage victims. Plus, we'll share some important tips to help keep you from being bullied. But first, let's take a closer look at the issue. Cyberbullying. Using the internet or a cell phone to threaten, spread rumors, or post doctored photographs. Since 99% of all teens are wired, the internet is the perfect place for friends, foes, and the faceless to harass other teens. 50% of students admit to being bullied online, while an estimated 30% admit to doing the actual bullying. 80% say they do it because they think it's funny and they won't get caught. But often, the consequences lead to trouble, and sometimes they can even be deadly.
Dad!
In 2003, Ryan Halligan, a 13-year-old Vermont student, hanged himself after being severely bullied online.
He went into the bathroom, locked the door, and took my daughter's bathrobe tie and wrapped it around his neck and hanged himself from the shower curtain rod.
6:30 in the morning, my daughter was getting ready for school, and that's when I heard the screaming. I ran out there, and she's just pointing at the bathroom saying, Ryan's dead. You can't know the terror. You can't know. And all I kept saying to Ryan was, why? I didn't understand why.
In the weeks following Ryan's suicide, the Halligans discovered the source of their son's anguish in the archives of his computer.
I went to his AOL Instant Message account because that was one place I knew he hung out a lot. There were literally hundreds and hundreds of folders inside, and every folder had a screen name associated with it. And it was the most upsetting material a parent could ever have to go through.
Hard copies of the instant messages Ryan received revealed that cyberbullies were spreading a rumor that Ryan was gay. His parents now understood the agony of his last 3 months of life, but it was too late.
He actually visited a website that showed how to tie a proper hanging knot. And I was so shocked, holding this in my hands after he was dead. And I realized that I was so clueless about the depth of his despair.
The more they learned about cyberbullying and how it destroyed their lives, the Halligans knew they had to make a difference.
My husband and I were very adamant on getting a law passed in the state of Vermont that specifically defines bullying and mandates that schools do something about it.
The Vermont law inspired by Ryan Halligan was passed May 18, 2004. It was an important step in an effort to fight back. Still, cyberbullying is on the rise. And sadly, Ryan's is not an isolated case. A number of other teens have been so tormented by cyberbullies that they too took their own lives. Suicide is certainly the most extreme result of cyberbullying, and it's clearly a worst-case scenario. Most bullying starts small, seemingly private between friends, and then mushrooms. Anyone can be a target, even the most popular student in school.
I was just always a good kid and just went along with the flow, so I was pretty normal and just trying to get through high school.
17-year-old Stephanie was always the perfect student. Class president, outstanding athlete, popular and friendly. But that all changed when she became a victim of cyberbullying.
Good things are supposed to happen to good people, so I never thought this would happen to me, and when it did, it was like, this can happen to anyone. You can be class president, you can be varsity starter, you can be captain of the football team, you can be anyone, and this can happen to you.
Stephanie was a high school junior in her hometown of Arlington, Virginia when the abuse began. As president of her class, she was asked to help choose the location for the senior prom. And that's when things started to get ugly.
The abuse started when the administration announced to our class that we were having the senior prom at a local country club, and many of my peers didn't want it there. They wanted it at a hotel so they could have their partying needs for after the prom, and that just escalated everything, and everyone just took it as I had done it to them and that it was my personal responsibility for the prom, and they took it out on me.
It didn't take long for the once popular class leader, who always loved learning, to feel like an outcast and actually hate going to school.
I'd walk down the hall and people would start whispering because they knew that I was the person in charge of prom, and so they say, she's the one, and there was just constant whispering.
She's the worst. She's such a loser.
I'd go through each class saying, okay, we can't cry today, we can't cry today, and that's all I wanted to do because I'd worked so hard to be, a good student, be a good member of society, and just to hear all that just killed me.
The harassment quickly moved online. Stephanie's once close friends were contributing to a blog that attacked her personally and her leadership as class president. Emotionally, it was more than she could handle.
I just lost it. I was just completely wrapped up in it, and it just killed me because I had never heard of anyone not liking me. So to hear these hurtful things at such an intensity was just blew my mind, and it just killed my self-confidence at that time.
Stephanie and I are very close, so when she hurts, I hurt. And it's almost as if when things start to go wrong, I know beforehand. It's like a sixth sense, because, she's very important to me.
Stephanie's mom, April, says she was shocked when she found out what was happening to her daughter.
I was quite shocked. I have never seen my daughter crumble and cry so hard, and then I knew it was serious. She's the epitome of responsibility, and especially for a teenager. And to do the right things and to be active and to lose that and lose your way, it's almost like she sort of lost the light.
Concerned for her daughter's well-being, April reported the harassment to Stephanie's high school. To say the least, she was not happy with their reaction.
I was very shocked and surprised and completely disappointed that a school system is not knowledgeable of what's happening and just allows it to be kids will be kids, and they don't help them resolve issues. And my reaction to it was that they weren't going to do anything. So we took steps to look at other schools and other options, and we went with moving on.
In 2006, Virginia passed a law mandating internet safety in their public schools. But Arlington School Board member David Foster says it's difficult to enforce that policy when many students engage in cyberbullying incidents outside of school.
Our policy expressly covers use of any school computers or other equipment, and it covers staff, students, and anyone else who may use that equipment. But of course, cyberbullying and other internet problems can and do occur on home computers and laptops, so we need parents to be vigilant as well.
Still, in today's wired world, David says it's extremely important for all schools to take action against the increasing reality of cyberbullying.
We may be pioneers in Virginia in having some of the first laws mandating internet safety, but I hope it does not stop here. It needs to be a national concern.